So that those who do not attend can be able to even see it, even though midway, no problem. So this is one of the campaigns we'll be taking part of. Not everyone is going back to school. Then we have to form the subgroups to submit concept notes for the site events. Some of the site events are virtual. Some of them are in person. In person happen in the areas where the event is happening. For instance, in person in New York, if we are approved, it means that we are supposed to host the event in New York. We can use our approval to source for funding because some funders fund events like that, which is global advocacy, which means from the grassroots, we are going to advocate globally. But at the Needs Media Foundation, we cannot guarantee you a US visa, which means it's not certain that you must get a US visa. We can only provide support letters to the letters that will come from the UN and others to show that you are one of the delegates that will be going for this event or you're speaking at this event. If it's good, some people will get the visa and they'll be there. Those who don't get, we cannot promise because we are not at the consulate office where we can only support. For events in different countries, like in that events happening in different places, Kenya and all of that, but these are self-funded. In a situation where we are able to raise funds, we can raise funds that can fund people's travel. But we cannot also guarantee that because it only comes through if you submit a grant proposal and it's funded. But it's our hope that in the long run, because these are ongoing activities, engagements, we're also trying to get accreditation now for COP, so that in the next 2 years, we can also be one of the accredited nonprofits for civil societies for COP, such that whenever there is a COP event, because one thing with attending COP events is that people cannot attend without access. And to get access, you need to go through an organization. Even with UN events, you cannot attend UN events if you don't have accreditation. So we have accreditation and can support people to get that access to participate. Sometimes it's virtual, sometimes it's in person. One thing to highlight too is that people should not shy away from virtual activities because it is where you meet people and where people take you seriously. Because the world of nonprofit, people know that a lot of people are looking for travel. But when you show up for virtual events and show up continuously and you're committed and you engage, you get to build new partnerships that can lead to long-lasting engagement. Because one thing with partnerships is it's not just supposed to be short-term, it's supposed to be long-lasting. So we should always stand up at the virtual ones. We should not shy away from virtual participation because it can also lead to just maybe you getting funding, recommendations to funders and all of that. So that's much of what has to be said. It was requested that people indicate their communities where they belong. I know a couple of people's own. So I work with Irene. Irene is at a meeting in Boya. Oh, sorry. You hear me saying that she's at a meeting, Boya. I'm thinking that it's my time. She already came back from the meeting. So I'll work with her to update it so that we can start dividing the tasks or the events as per people's different groups. There may be people that are not in some of these groups that work in those thematic areas. When we indicate, please do share. For instance, if it's about water Congress, where you work on water, hygiene and sanitation, but you are not part of Global Climate Justice Network, you can quickly indicate that, oh, you work on this thematic area. So you'll be part of that subgroup working on developing the concept note. And then once we have approval, host the events, because one thing is even while we're submitting for the approval, we also can start looking at funders that can fund and submitting for funding. And then you're in the community where you're from. For instance, if you're Global Climate Justice Network, you have to remember there engage. It's not everybody from that network who is part of the organizing committee. Same with Karojipem, same with your council, same with her voice club, same with the DMF intents. So the intent, not every intent or past intent is part of this organizing committee. It's just those who are here, who are members. So you're supposed to take information back to your group and mobilize members and everything. And one thing that we'll be doing a lot is we'll be tracking engagements, which means as people engage, we'll take note of it. And we want seriousness. So there's going to be a spreadsheet that takes note of all of these things. One of the things that we also want to capture is social media handles, like people's Twitter accounts. So that when you retweet or tweet anything, we know that we tick it, because whatever comes from it, for instance, that we have a small brand that can form internet, we only give to people that we're engaging. We'll not give to people that we're not engaging, who do not show up for meetings, who do not take part or communicate with their communities and everything like that. So we'll be doing a lot of that. And we are all experts in our own field. So we have a lot of connections. We have people here that run their own organizations who have access to funders. This is a platform for us to recommend, work together to come up with the concept notes. Personally, on my part, I have a lot on my plate. The team at DMF too, but we are available to work because one thing is I'm good at sourcing opportunities. So I can always be sharing them in this organizing committee group. And if people will be able to open this link and start saying, oh, I think we can apply for this. Let's work on this. Let's work together. We can develop this concept note, because on one person alone, it's going to be heavy. If it's only on DMF, it's going to be heavy. If it's only on myself, it's going to be heavy. So we need to be able to contribute. We need to also bring effort from our team members, because one thing with membership in this network is the membership is not only individual. If we notice, especially for platforms like our GPM, it's organizational involvement. In a case where organization can contribute effort, please don't relent. If we need someone that can come up with a proposal and you have someone on your team who is good at it, maybe someone from maybe an organization like MAU who is good in project writing or designing flyers, you bring that skill in. It must not be just one person doing the work. We are coordinating, yes, but it's for us to together and try to bring what we need to excel both at our organizational level and individual level. So not much of it level. I don't know if we have questions.
Yes or no? Did you please or what are they?
Don't shout. Do you have any questions?
People can mute their mics so that we can follow the lesson well. There's noise at the background.
A lot of people have their mics on. Can we mute it so we hear, we follow?
Yes,
mute them.
I'm up. Yes, I sincerely want to appreciate this effort, Emily, and the rest of your team to bring us together to work in synergy to create a greater impact from our various organizations and as a team. I think this actually makes the work better, and I think we should work together with this innovation brought up to actually create impact in our various communities. So I am sincerely thankful to you, Mickey, for this initiative. I must commend it as being active and positive and to create impact in our community. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you to unmute.
Yeah, can I go on?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, Emily, thank you very much for this brave initiative. I'm so happy. But I have an issue. I wish to appeal to all of us on this. It's something that is coming that will benefit in the long term. One of the things I'll always advocate for visibility is that each one of us should follow ourselves on all our SM handles, because if you follow me and I follow you back, the exposure I have, the number of following I have will always follow you. Personally, I like to retweet. I always love to go to their Facebook handle and comment, but I notice that people don't, they don't come back to it. So we cannot go and bring a beautiful idea like what Emily is trying to bring, and then we take a laxity to kill it. That's just the point I wanted to make. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ara, for that. And this is one innovative thing that just came to my mind.
That's the baby voice.
Mommy.
So now the thing is, one innovative, she just wants to be near the phone and be part of the conversation, no matter how. So one of the things that I'm thinking that we can do, which is why I initially mentioned that we'll be collecting people's social media, is that we'll do follow. If a daily follow campaign, which means daily, when we've collected the media accounts, what we'll do is each day one will be dropped with one will be dropped in the group for everyone to follow. Not only one, I think maybe even 3 or 4. You can send one like now and say everybody follow this account.
That baby will not allow us to listen something. Oh.
I say, Elena,
please mute your mic. When you want to talk, then you unmute.
Yeah, let me go to 5 minutes or 10, 20 minutes. That would always work. That 20 minutes with 55 minutes. No, I know.
Where some of us have network issues, then with the noise we cannot get. Mute your
mic. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Sorry about the baby. It's not easy. She must be part of this meeting. So I was saying that another innovative idea would be to do a follow campaign where each day we can take like 5 accounts and say everyone follow this account. Everyone follow this account. So that's why we need your social media accounts. So as members of your different groups, please, you just go to your group and ask members to send their social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, for both themselves as individuals and their organizations or institutions. So that's one way to start. So those are members of DMF Mentee. We have a lot of people so that in different groups at the same time. So we can do a task sheet where people can pick up which group they want to be part of. So that we have one person that we are certain that is handling one group, so that those who are in multiple groups will not be confused on where to be part of. Say, for instance, Rekatu is part of DMF Mentee and Global Climate Justice Network. If she's coordinating DMF Mentee, it means we will know that she's the one that is in charge of that group. And then at the level of Global Climate Justice Network, for instance, I see Dennis here from Nigeria. He will be in charge of that one. So that it should not be confused whether she should go to either Global Climate Justice Network or DMF Mentee. So we'll also take up a sheet like that for people to indicate to select which group they want to be part of. I don't know if there's any other question or comments to make or feedback to share.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead, Laila.
Please. Good evening. I have a worry. I wanted to know whether will there be a time, because I realize that most of the people are towards the southwest region. Some of us are a little far, like Nyaunde, and some are out of the country. Is there going to be a situation where we need to meet physically and work on 1 or 2 things, or we're just going to be online?
If we get funding that will need us to meet, definitely it will be communicated and all logistic information shared. Like, for instance, if there's a funding that wants us to meet for a planning meeting, we'll do that and indicate, and then provide the logistical information for people to participate. For now, nothing is available, which is why the first part of this communicator when I was not funded, which means for now it's mostly voluntarily done and it's mostly going to be virtual. But our hope is that we can use it to do much, which is, for instance, the reason why we are starting with a campaign like the 100 million but not every child is going to school campaign, because it will give us a lot of visibility internationally. Participation in that campaign will not just, because one thing is when you're applying for funding, you are telling what you have done. So when we show that we were part of this, sometimes even not just showing, your participation brings people to you. They'll be like, oh, we saw you. We've had a lot of recommendations like that from DMF, from other platforms, where the partners will reach out to you. Oh, we saw that you were part of this. There's this other opportunity. Can you be part? So that's how it comes. That's why engagement is important. Engagement is key in this. So that's what I can say in that area for now.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Emily. Thank you very much for the program and for the projects you're bringing forward. I am pretty new in everything. I am up here in Bamenda. I just wanted to find out, is there any focal point in Bamenda I can meet and get to know more about everything, DMF and the other organizations, and how I can fit in squarely? You know, I'm a little bit new, so if there's a focal point in Bamenda, I'll be very grateful to meet the person so that I could get to know some things better as to what I'm getting involved into.
Okay, for now, we do not have a focal point in Bamenda, but from our discussion personally, I see that you're also new, maybe in the civil society space and everything. And I want to recommend you to Pastor Sam, who is here, Pastor Sam Chair, who is in the meeting today, so that he's in Bamenda. You guys can meet. Yes, he has experience in civil society. I can also share you some documents about DMF and what we do. And we can have another call and another conversation like we did, so that I can see how to put you through.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, I think I'll have to just say one or two things here. Thank you, Emily, for putting this together. Your familiar faces I can see here, Rekiato and Bayi Frida, members of the Bosch Alumni Network, and of course, good evening, everyone. So I just got a mail now. I was going through the UN Water Conference thing and saw that we can actually apply for side events, and deadline for application is 13th January. So I think that would be an area I would like to contribute to, especially looking at something around the virtual